You know we love spooky things. This is why we fell in love with Michigan-based Lynn B Designs. When I popped the pumpkin spice all the things wax melt into my burner, my home was filled with the delicious buttery scent. Plus, there's the wide variety of gorgeous nail polishes with themes like Hocus Pocus and Pleasant Peninsula. All products are vegan and cruelty-free, and you can find monthly sales on Facebook and Instagram at Lynn B Designs. Head to lynbdesigns.store today. Again, that's LYNB designs.store.
We love them. We love you. It's great nail polish. It's the best I've ever used. Thanks!
Huron Valley, the 1970s. 4 rooms, 4 stories, 1 hotel. Neighborhood Theater Group presents The Hotel Delgado, an anthology of short plays by A.M. Dean, Megan Murphy, Greg Pizzino, and Aaron C. Wade, March 7th through 9th, and 14th through 16th at the Back Office Studio in downtown Ypsilanti. For tickets and information, visit ntgypsy.org. That's ntgypsi.org.
Michiganders can be a superstitious bunch. We find all sorts of reasons to explain the world around us, sometimes pulling from science, sometimes tradition, and sometimes from our imaginations. What happens when we can't readily explain our experiences? And what happens when a ghost story gets out of hand? Do these legends stem entirely from fantasy? Or are people seeing things no one can truly explain?
I'm Krista K. Coburn.
And I'm Kay Gray.
Welcome to Haunted Mitten. And welcome to the 2-part finale of Season 6. Can you believe it? These 2 episodes may sound a little different from our usual. We've been incredibly lucky to have a research assistant for these episodes, and he did an amazing job. Thank you so much.
Such a good job.
Yes. So these episodes are in a slightly different format than usual, and we'll be going through them a little differently, but we think you'll love them. So let's get on with the show.
All right. The Incident.
Dun, dun, dun.
On the evening of November 23rd, 1953, at approximately 6:17 p.m., ground intercept radar operators from Calumet Air Force Station, then known as Keweenaw Radar Site, detected an unidentified target over Lake Superior. Given the call sign Avenger Red, an F-89 Scorpion, right? How cool is that?
This is great.
An F-89 Scorpion, piloted by First Lieutenant Felix Moncla Jr., with Second Lieutenant Robert L. Wilson as radar operator, was dispatched to intercept the object. Wilson struggled to track the object as it kept changing course, forcing ground control to guide them over the radio. They chased the target for 30 minutes at speeds of 500 miles per hour, gradually closing the gap. Around 6:55 p.m., as the plane approached the object at around 8,000 feet, something strange happened. The 2 radar blips merged into one and disappeared.
That is so wild to me. I love it so much.
The weirder, the better.
Yeah, like I don't have much experience with radar, but like I understand how it works. That's
right.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Also, that's really fast.
It's not normal for two blips to go like this and then
no.
A 5-minute alert aircraft with the call sign Avenger Black was dispatched. Pilot Lieutenant Bill Mingenbach and his radar operator are ordered to approach the last known location of Avenger Red and attempt to contact them by radio. At 7:35 p.m., approximately 40 minutes after the disappearance of Avenger Red, while unable to locate the missing plane, they heard a brief transmission. They immediately recognized Moncla's voice by its slow southern drawl. The transmission lasted only a few seconds and sounded like an unintentional comment to Wilson. Mingenbach recalled part of the message beginning with, "I think we better," followed by words he couldn't remember. They attempted
Oh,
to contact Moncla several times but received no response. They were requested to descend to a lower altitude for investigation. However, the weather report from Kinross warned of a moderate to heavy icing in the lower altitudes for the region, and the F 89C flown by Avenger Black lacked retractable engine screens, increasing the risk of icing in poor conditions.
okay.
Whatever that means, plain people.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty icy up there. This is
Yeah.
pretty northern Michigan.
Yes. Yeah. Additionally, the low cloud ceiling and snow showers would have made visual searching challenging. As a result, they were instructed to circle the area and wait.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Having been in enough whiteouts and stuff in this state, my God.
Yeah, I mean, having had to like circle in planes before, like,
Oh yeah, definitely.
oh my God, we're talking about planes and all of this. We gotta stop.
Oof. Oof. Yeah.
We have to stop
Oh man, that's
doing.
completely coincidental that we chose this one.
Yeah.
Oh, I apologize to anyone nervous
Yeah.
about planes right now.
For those of you listening in the future, we're recording this at the beginning of February 2025. If you don't remember what happened, go check out the news for a couple of days before this. Um,
Yeah. Oof.
I don't like how prescient we are.
This
I
has
hate
happened
it.
a few times. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, specifically this season.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
At 7:46 p.m., a second 5-minute alert aircraft with retractable engine screens so it would not ice was dispatched, with Second Lieutenant Nordeck and his radio operator taking the call sign Avenger Purple.
Oh my God, these Avengers. This is wonderful.
I just like how it was like red, black. Are we going with like the easy colors? Green, blue, no, purple.
Purple baby.
They attempted to make radio contact and descended through the clouds to check for icing conditions and locate the aircraft, but had no luck. After failing to contact Avenger Red, Sault Ste. Marie Air Force Station directed Avenger Black and Avenger Purple to return to Kinross Air Force Base. Another attempt to locate the missing aircraft was made that night, but the pilot had to turn back due to snow, low cloud ceilings, and loss of radar and radio contact. Over the next 5 days, the U.S. Air Force, in collaboration with the Royal Canadian Air Force, because this is on the border.
Yeah, if people don't know, this is like there are two Sault Ste. Maries, one in Canada, one in Michigan.
Yes.
So
this is on.
this is right
On that
right on the border.
They both conducted an extensive search along the shoreline of the lake. Despite covering 80% of the designated search area, the teams found no trace of the missing aircraft or its crew.
Okay, so I am familiar with this case because it's a doozy.
Okay.
But I didn't realize the weather conditions, I guess. Or
Yeah.
the exact weather conditions. Okay.
Right. It turns
So
out it
I
was kind of
can-
a harrowing evening.
Yeah, so I can see why people wouldn't be as weirded out, I guess, by it at the time.
Right.
I
Yeah.
would say.
Like, oh, well, it was crap conditions. Like, something happened. Yeah.
Right. Not that unusual for that region.
Yeah.
By land or lake, it's a dangerous area.
Yeah. Oh, you're by Lake
Yeah.
Superior? You're fucked.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're driving, you're boating, you're flying.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, be very, very careful.
All right, the victims. We're doing this Simon Whistler style with the subheadings for each.
Yeah.
Love it. Felix Eugene Moncla Jr. was born on October 26, 1926, in Mansoura, Louisiana. He grew up in a family with a seamstress mother and a father who was a science teacher and a World War I veteran. In high school, he played the trumpet and excelled in track and field, earning the title of prom king thanks to his popularity with the local girls.
Aw.
After graduating, He attended Southwest Louisiana Institute in Lafayette on an athletic scholarship where he played football and competed in track and field.
So fit guy. All right.
Yeah. On March 3rd, 1945, he enlisted in the U.S. Army at C.P. Chaffee near Fort Smith, Arkansas,
That's how I would say
after
it.
2 years at Southern Louisiana Institute. He served as a private during the post-war occupation of Japan. Once his service ended, he returned to the States and completed his Bachelor of Science degree in 1948. I'm going to go scroll back and look up at him. He won prom king, really?
Like,
All right.
different times, okay? He doesn't seem so.
Friends, we have photos that we'll post.
He's got that like square jaw. Like,
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess that's just like a really
This is-
crappy picture.
This is like what the 30s, 40s. Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
That's 1940s good looks right there.
Yeah, fair enough. Folks not on our Patreon, we will post the picture so you can see what on earth it
Yeah,
is we're
what we're talking about.
about.
I think he's kind
Our
of got
research
some of the, like. He was really good. Yeah. I feel like this guy. He looks a little like some of those Cary Grant with like the square jaw and like.
That's true.
Yeah, like the darker eyes, like the prominent brow. Yeah.
Yeah, like a heavy brow, but it's like manicured and not like eating his face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moncla had always loved airplanes, inspired in part by a cousin who was a pilot. So when the Korean War started, he eagerly joined the Air Force to fly the newest fighter jets. In 1950, he joined the U.S. Air Force and began working in an office in Dallas, Texas. Soon after, he was sent to McConnell Field in Waco for basic pilot training, where he met and married his wife, Bobby Jean Coleman. That is the most Texas name to ever Texas.
Yeah, it is.
After Waco, they moved to Reese Field in Lubbock, Texas, for advanced pilot training. Jean then went to Tyndall Air Force Base in Panama City, Florida, for F-89 training, where they had their first child, a son. Jean and his family moved to Madison, Wisconsin in July 1952, which is a far cry from Florida.
Oh, yes.
He spent his whole life in the South. Welcome to Wisconsin.
Yeah, Madison, yeah.
They had a daughter there who was just 5 months old when Jean disappeared.
Oh.
The last time his sister, Leonie?
Leone?
The last time his sister saw him was during a quick stop at Denver Airport in the summer of 1953 while he was flying a refit F-89C from California back to Madison. At the time he went missing, Jean was excited about returning to civilian life and going back to school. There isn't much information available about Robert L. Wilson. He was described as a reserved and serious man respected by his peers. Unfortunately, it appears he doesn't have any living relatives. He was 22 at the time.
Oh, wow, he was young. How odd that we know so much about, is it Moncla?
Yeah.
But we don't, I mean, that's like, what, 2 sentences?
Yeah. There's nothing about this man.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And so young. That's so sad.
He's so young. How old was Moncla? I can't do math.
Older.
1926.
Yeah. I mean, neither one of them was old.
Appeared in 53. Almost 30.
Almost,
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Closing in on 30.
Yeah.
And to have a baby at home.
And they had 2 babies.
Yeah. That. Oof.
Oh.
I feel sorry for his family because he just disappeared.
Oh my God.
we'll get into it. But
disappear, but now like his wife has 2 kids and she's on her own.
Yep. In a very different place from where she grew up.
In the 50s.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah.
The Search. The Air Force, in collaboration with the Royal Canadian Air Force, conducted an extensive search along the shoreline of the lake for 5 days. The rescue mission was dubbed Operation SAR Scorpion, and several leads were investigated. On November 25th, a mail carrier reported seeing the wreckage of an aircraft in the water near the Cut River Bridge about 35 miles southwest of Kinross Air Force Base on the Lake Michigan shore.
Hmm.
However, after 3 searches by Michigan State Police, the quote-unquote wreckage turned out to just be rocks.
Nice try. Unless it was wreckage and it just vanished. No, that's
Good job, mail carrier.
a
You
whole other
tried.
mystery. Yeah, he was trying. He was trying. Trying to be helpful.
You tried. On November 27th, a report surfaced about aircraft wreckage on a mountainside in the Canadian wilderness, approximately 80 miles north of Kinross Air Force Base. The area was thoroughly searched by 3 planes and a helicopter, but nothing was found. Lastly, they conducted a sweep over the north shore of Lake Superior based on reports from Algoma Central Railway hearing a crash on the night of the F-89's disappearance. On November 28th, the search was officially suspended. The search teams reported covering 80% of the designated search area without a single trace of the missing aircraft or crew found.
Huh. I wonder why they didn't do the remaining 20%.
I'm like, yeah, you still got 20%, buddy.
Yeah.
What happened?
Like, I know that's still a lot,
You
but,
want it?
you keep going until they're found.
Shouldn't we do all of it?
Yeah,
No?
that's weird.
Okay.
That's weird to me.
Yeah. A second search for the missing F-89 was initiated in May 1954, so after winter. After some of the snow was melted.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. After more names that Ren?
Yeah. I don't know.
After Ren O. Wilson, the father of the radar operator, provided new information. The 49th Air Rescue Squadron, based at Selfridge Air Force Base in Michigan, prepared a report stating that the search was reopened due to reports of a low-flying aircraft near Limmer, Ontario.
Interesting.
This information had been received and investigated during the original search, but was deemed irrelevant at the time because of discrepancies in timing. Since then, the individual who reported the low-flying aircraft admitted he may have been mistaken about when he saw it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, sure.
IDK.
Yeah, what? Sure. Okay, why not?
Sure. Okay. The official report. I can't do it cool like Simon does. I don't know how to do it cool.
Gotta have the like music behind it.
I know. Done. The official report. According to the official report from the Air Force, the object caught on radar was actually a Royal Canadian Air Force Dakota, a C-47, flying from Winnipeg to Sudbury, Canada. It was classified as unidentified because it was about 30 miles off of its flight plan.
That seems
That's
far.
really far. That's really far to be off of your flight plan.
I understand planes are fast, right? But you got to be really careful. Obviously, as we mentioning the news, with your flight plan. And 30 miles seems a bit off. I don't know. Someone who knows planes better, like, I guess let us know. But
yeah, email contacthaunted@gmail.com. Yeah. But I think that's really far.
That's it, because you have to be so precise. So that does seem strange.
Yeah. The Air Force reported that the F-89 identified the UFO as a Royal Canadian Air Force C-47 and turned back to base. It's been suggested that Lieutenant Moncla was prone to vertigo and that he experienced this condition on his way back to base, leading to his crash into Lake Superior. However, this claim is largely based on hearsay, as there are no official sources confirming that he had a history of vertigo.
Would they have let him fly?
They would not.
What?
Oh, you have the dizzy disease, which could make you crash our planes? No, thank you.
Yeah, what?
I don't think they would let him fly. Again, email us if you know better, but I do not think they would let him fly.
No, they were pretty hard about that. Like your vision and all that stuff, yeah.
Interestingly, the appendix is missing from the report. A map showing the F-89's last known location and the purported flight path of the C-47.
Yeah, what? Shocking.
Now we're getting weird. Because I bet people are like, so where's the UFO part? And I'm like, don't worry.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's been there the whole time. Yeah, this whole situation just it was always weird, but the more details and stuff, it gets a little weirder.
oh, yeah. Enter Donald Kehoe. One of the most prominent figures in ufology at the time, Donald Kehoe, co-founder of NICAP and author of the seminal book Flying Saucers Are Real, claimed in his 1955 book, The Flying Saucer Conspiracy, that he received an anonymous call on the night of the F-89 incident from someone allegedly stationed at Selfridge Air Force Base.
Hmm.
The mysterious source informed him that there was a rumor circulating at the base that the missing aircraft had collided with the flying saucer. In the book, Kehoe frequently misspells Kinross as Kimross.
The N becomes an M, which in Michigander accents,
It's that's I can sound like I mess that up sometimes.
yeah.
In his narrative about the F-89 intercepting a flying saucer reflects his significant misunderstanding of 50s radar technology and its limitations.
Oh, jeez. I'm not all that surprised, I guess. I'm disappointed. I'm just disappointed.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Exactly.
Notably, merged blips didn't necessarily mean collision. His account significantly diverges from the official Air Force version. These discrepancies appear to be a primary source of the inconsistencies found when compared to official Air Force documents. However, there are other elements beyond Kehoe that further cast doubt on the credibility of the official report. Surprise, surprise.
That's probably good, because Kehoe's not doing himself any favors.
Not even a little bit. Discrepancies.
Shocking.
There are claims, right? In a government report, discrepancies?
From the mid-20th century? What?
There are claims that the Air Force gave conflicting information to Felix Moncla's family about what happened to him.
Wow, really?
Really?
Impressive.
In one instance, they said the jet crashed into Lake Superior, while in another, a different group informed them that the jet had exploded midair.
Those are two different things.
Those are really different. I don't know if you know this. Those, really different.
Yeah.
In 1961, Richard Hall, a member of NICAP, contacted the RCAF, that's the Royal Canadian Air Force, to confirm the identification of the C-47 in the Kinross Incident. The response stated, quote, "Thank you for your letter dated April 4th inquiring about an unidentified flying object on November 23rd, 1953. Upon reviewing Royal Canadian Air Force records, we found no report of an incident involving an RCAF aircraft in the Lake Superior area on that date." And then it's written by Flight Lieutenant C.F. Page on behalf of the Chief of the Air Staff, RCAF, to John
McCulloch?
Why do we have hard names? Why?
McCulloch?
John McCulloch.
Yeah.
McCulloch?
I don't know.
April 14th, 1961.
And they would know.
And they would know. Because they would also be missing a plane.
Right.
And some people.
Exactly.
Like,
why would they be covering that up?
Yeah, Canada would have no reason to.
Unless they had some super secret Canadian stuff going on, but I don't see that happening.
Dun, dun.
No offense, Canada. I love you. I wish you would make us part of you. But
adopt us, please.
Michigan was Canadian once. It can happen again.
We can be Canadian again.
I'm just saying.
And I'll be honest, even if you're just taking the UP, like, I'll move up there.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, they're connected through Sault Ste. Marie.
Anyway,
We're connected through Detroit, Port Huron. They're connected through Sault Ste. Marie.
yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, let's go.
And then the Great Lakes get to almost entirely be yours.
Yeah. I know that's what you want.
Don't you want it? Don't you? Anyway, later, another NICAP member reached out to the RCAF and received an even more definitive denial that any Canadian aircraft had been intercepted by a U.S. jet. The spokesperson noted, quote, "As you indicated, the C-47 was following a flight plan that took it over Canadian territory. This alone would seem to render such an intercept unlikely."
Yeah, why
End quote.
why would a Canadian plane be flying in U.S. airspace? And they would
I don't
they
know.
would know.
They would know.
I mean, for one thing,
You have to keep track of that stuff, and
and,
you have to keep real good notes.
and you would be crossing a very large lake. You'd be on the wrong
You'd also know.
shoreline. You would know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is also very insulting to the Canadian Air Force. Just be like, oh, they were off their flight path and collided with our plane. And Canada's
It
like,
was
excuse
Canada.
you?
Yeah, it was, them Canadians.
Yeah, blame Canada, in the words of South Park.
Canadian ufologist Gord Heath reached out to Gerald Fosberg, the pilot of the C-47 on that fateful night,
Ooh.
via email to inquire about the incident. In his response, Fosberg stated, quote, "I was at the time indeed serving with the 412th Squadron at Rockcliffe, doing what I loved best, flying airplanes. At the time, I was a flight lieutenant, married with our first of 3 children on the way. Served 28 years and retired May 1974 as a major. Continued flying corporate jets for another 20 years.
Wow, good job.
I remember the flight, right? Good for him.
Yeah.
What a good career. I remember the flight reasonably well and just checked my logbooks to confirm the date. It was a night flight. We were probably at 7,000 or 9,000 feet over a solid cloud deck below and absolutely clear sky above. Somewhere near Sault Ste. Marie and north of Kinross, I think a ground station, can't remember whether it was American or Canadian, asked us if we had seen another aircraft's lights in our area. I do think I recall them saying at that time that the U.S. Air Force had scrambled an interceptor and that they had lost contact with it. We replied that we had not seen anything. A few days later, I received a phone call from somebody at Kinross who was carrying out an investigation on a missing aircraft. I could only tell them that we had seen nothing. That was the last I ever heard of the incident." End quote.
So, yeah, clearly didn't crash because this guy's still alive.
Yeah, he's fine.
Unless, again, major Canadian cover-up.
Right, in which they also replaced a dude.
Yeah.
With another dude
Yeah.
in this man's life.
This is like X-Files level. Canadian X-Files.
This is like X-Files level. We are making it like X-Files level. In further conversations with the pilot, it was clear he didn't really know that the F-89 was supposedly trying to intercept his plane. They had recorded the radar return from the F-89 merging with his aircraft right before they lost all contact. Fosberg was pretty adamant that there was no way his plane could have been off course by 30 miles at any time during the flight.
He would have noticed.
Yeah, he would have noticed. He mentioned that because of the radio navigation system they were using, he would definitely have known if his plane had strayed from its flight path.
Yeah, because again, he would have been in foreign territory.
Right. And there would have been mentions on the radio back to base all up and down, just like we see with like Bermuda Triangle cases.
Mm-hmm.
There's usually, before the disappearances of these planes, there's usually like a conversation with air traffic control or base, like, hey, our equipment is going screwy. We're not sure where we are. And there's usually like some kind of communication before the loss of said planes. But everything with everybody's instruments seemed totally fine.
Yeah. And he would have, when they tried to contact this other like alleged plane, they would have been like, "Oh, hey, what? It's us." Like,
Oh, hey, yeah. Oh, sorry, our bad.
because he was able to communicate, so it's not like he wasn't able to get transmission. He's like,
Yeah,
yeah, it just seems silly
yeah,
to blame. Seems easy, but
yeah.
also very silly to blame Canada.
I know. That's the U.S. for you.
Yep.
Based on what Fosberg revealed, it seems the U.S. Air Force's claim that the C-47 was 30 miles off course is likely false. No way. This evidence points to a few possibilities regarding the official explanation. One possibility is that the C-47 was never off course, but the order for the alert was issued because the U.S. Air Force officers at Horsefly GCI, ground control, something,
I don't know.
wanted to conduct a mock intercept of the Canadian Air Force craft, using it as a chance to test interceptor response to a potential threat. It could have just been a simulation, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not that kind of simulation, you conspiracy nerds. Regular one. Two, another possibility is that the C-47 was indeed off course, but Fosberg was simply unaware or had forgotten about it. Probably not.
Again, people would have noticed.
Yeah, there'd be like notes. He would have had to like
people would have noticed.
file a report about
Yeah, like,
that.
hey, why are you
Somebody
30
been
miles
mad.
off course?
Yeah, somebody would have been mad about this.
Yeah.
Three, a third possibility is that the C-47 wasn't the reason for the alert at all, but rather became a convenient scapegoat for a failed intercept attempt involving another aircraft or an unknown object. Dun dun dun.
I mean, 3 seems the most logical, I guess. I mean, it could be 1, but then again, they're covering things up.
Right. Then why wouldn't they just say, oh, it was a training exercise?
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't have believed them because they've used that too much. But
yeah,
at least it would.
They would say that. Like, my great uncle
Yeah.
died during a training incident in World War II in Florida. They admitted to it. Like, we know that.
Right.
Like, it wasn't a
Yeah.
big secret. So,
Right.
yeah, if that's what they were doing, I feel like they would have admitted to it. So,
I don't know. I'm going to go. So far, I'm going UFO.
yeah, I mean,
So far.
I mean, it's clearly an unidentified object. It showed up on the radar. It was likely in the air.
Right.
Whether it was
Yeah.
aliens, couldn't tell you, but it was. But as
Fair,
for
okay,
like a
yes.
literal definition of a UFO, yeah, it seems pretty clear.
Right. 50s radar technology. Time to get nerdy.
Yeah, because this is like at the heart of the whole thing.
Right. A big part of this story that sparked all those UFO abduction theories is the phrase blips merged on radar. At Calumet Air Force Base, they were using there's some technical stuff that I don't know anything about, so good luck to all of us. At Calumet, they were using an AN-FPS-3 radar system along with a height finder antenna, the AN-FPS-5. The AN-FPS-3 could track objects up to 300 miles away and had a range resolution of a half mile, which meant 2 aircraft would appear as one on the radar if they were within a half mile of each other.
Which feels pretty close for an aircraft. They go really fast.
That seems way too close.
Yeah.
But they're also like trained to do that kind of stuff. So,
yeah.
You know, this isn't like commercial flights.
Right.
Like being parallel, because that's terrifying. This makes it tough to figure out what really happened after the blips merged and the IFF indicator vanished. Plus, the altitude readout came from the height finder antenna, which could only focus on one target at a time, so it wouldn't show if one aircraft suddenly nosedived into Lake Superior.
Okay.
There's also radar shadow, which is the area radar can't detect because of the Earth's curve. This could mean the jet might have had engine trouble or dove to avoid the C-47 while still within the radar's detection range. If the jet did end up in the lake, it wouldn't have been able to reach ground control intercept stations only other planes nearby.
Meaning the C-47 probably would have noticed.
Meaning the C-47, would have been able to pick that up, even if all of their ground stuff wasn't good enough to.
Right. And he said it was a clear... He did say there was cloud cover beneath them, but it was a clear night above.
Yes. The F-89 Scorpion. It's kind of a bomb-ass looking plane.
Very mid 20th century. Very good design. Love that.
Oh,
Kind of futuristic looking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like pointy but slightly rounded at the ends. It looks like it's just got two major like bombs as its engines on the ends of the wings.
Yeah.
It's
very Atom Punk.
It is very Atom Punk. It's true.
But it's real.
But it's real. Atom Punk might be real not that long from now. The Northrop F-89 Scorpion was the first American jet designed specifically as an interceptor, entering service with the U.S. Air Force in September 1950. Only 18 F-89As were built before the upgraded F-89B was introduced in June 1951. Both versions had significant engine failure issues, leading to the F-89C, which came out in September 1951, but still faced problems.
Wow.
Yeah, that feels bad.
Oh,
that feels like
man. Those
feel
like serious problems.
You should keep working on your planes.
Jeez.
If they have
so much can go wrong.
failure.
I mean, if something does go wrong, like you are so far away from the ground or the lake.
You are, yeah.
Oof. That sucks.
Yeah, I'm not flying for a while.
Yeah, we were about ready to agree to fly next year. Now I'm kind of like, maybe we'll drive. Maybe we'll just drive.
That's fine. Drive or like take the train, so that can be part of the vacation.
We already looked into that. It's 2 days by train.
That's a really long time.
Just trying to get to New Orleans from Detroit.
Jesus, that's a long time.
Yeah, it takes 2 days.
It takes half that to drive. Yes. Yeah. Anyway. The engines were low on the aircraft, which caused them to suck up debris during taxiing and takeoff.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
I see the problem.
Who in R&D didn't look at the design and go, that's a problem.
Right?
What if shit's on the runway?
It looked good on paper.
Nope, no one. It was pretty though. Although engine screens were added to prevent this, they often clogged with ice at high altitudes. Those engine screens we talked about.
Yes.
Retractable screens were later introduced, but by 1952, even bigger issues emerged. Between February and September, 6 F-89 aircraft disintegrated mid-air during maneuvers, primarily due to stability and structural fatigue problems.
Wow, disintegrated mid-air. Ooh.
Hey, don't fly these.
I'm guessing the pilots were mostly okay. Maybe they knew something was happening and they're like, eject. Just fucking eject.
Maybe.
I feel like if all of these people were dying, we got a whole other problem.
I mean, yeah. On September 22nd, 1952, all F-89s were grounded until modifications could be made to fix these issues, particularly a design flaw in the wing structure.
Jeez.
You know, the thing that makes the plane stay in the air. Even after modifications, the aircraft were limited to 80% of their performance potential and had trouble at lower altitudes with a maximum speed of 425 knots below 20,000 feet. I don't know how much knots is in like miles per hour or even kilometers per hour, so
I don't remember.
I'm assuming that's not as fast as you want it to be.
I'm guessing, yeah, based on context clues.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's not fast enough.
80% of their performance potential is pretty crappy.
Yeah, that's not what you want in a fighter jet.
Could be worse, but yeah, not great.
Engine power also decreased above 30,000 feet. The structural improvements weren't included in new models until the F-89D, so all F-89Cs needed post-factory modifications. By 1954, the F-89C was considered obsolete and replaced by later models.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, seems right.
Jeez.
Around the same time as the Kinross Incident, there were notable crashes involving the 433rd Fighter Interceptor Squadron at Truax Field.
Jeez.
I think it's Truax. On August 3rd, an F-89C in Yuma, Arizona had to make an emergency landing due to engine vibrations and ran off the runway, but the pilot was fine.
That's good.
Then, on November 3rd, an F-89C collided with an F-86D. Both pilots ejected safely, but the radar operator of the F-89C unfortunately died after ejecting.
Oh, geez, that sucks.
So as you can see, we have lots of issues going on.
Yeah, a little bit. I understand this was in like the early days of, still early days of flights and,
Right.
and figuring these things out, but like, oh.
Yes. This was right after World War II when we started to have a little bit more time to figure things out.
Yes.
But, hey, you've got some issues.
Also, as I'm learning from the book I'm reading, they were working on standardizing things. So like standardizing screw sizes and degrees and angles and things. So there was a lot going on at the time. There's a lot going on.
Yes. And then, so like you have essentially a faulty plane. You have radar, which is good, but not spectacular, especially at close ranges when things are close together. And you have icy conditions.
Yeah.
A plane that is especially not good in icy conditions. But the question remains,
what the hell happened?
What the hell happened?
It sounds like it really could have been a number of things, but they never found the wreckage. They still don't have any idea what happened where they are. And people have looked for the records, I think, since then. It's like we still dive for shipwrecks that happened hundreds of years ago.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We will probably learn about that next time, because this is where we're going to pause. But I think the biggest question is also, well, the second biggest question is, what were they scrambled after in the first place?
Right. What could that have been?
Why were they sent out in the first place? What is this? What was this unidentified blip on radar?
It was the Russians.
That
was the Cold War. It could have been anything. Could have been a lot of things.
Could have been. Could have been the Russians. Probably not, but it could have been.
Yeah, I feel like that was such an easy cop-out back then, because we were all doing things nobody else knew about. And the easiest way to get to America from Russia was over Canada, so.
Yeah.
But Canada didn't have anything. They didn't detect anything, they didn't see anything, so that's interesting.
Yeah. But the Royal Canadian Air Force was like, dude, nothing happened.
Yeah, we saw.
Dude, we didn't see shit. Yep. Sorry. But that is where we're going to pause this week.
Yeah. Two-parter, woo!
I know. They're my favorite.
Exciting and ending to the season, I think. Ending on a two-parter.
I hope so. I hope you guys like UFO stuff. I try to throw one UFO thing in every season.
Because we do have some weird stuff.
We have some weird
this
stuff.
one I feel like is particularly weird and particularly noteworthy and kind of famous because of it being very well documented, obviously, and then also documented by the Canadians as well. On the Canadian side, they were also involved.
Yep. We have two countries. Taking notes.
So that's why I think this one is particularly interesting to me.
Yeah, it's not just one. It's not just one country lying to us.
Possibly two. I
Don't lie to me, Canada.
do like the idea of a Canadian conspiracy.
You know what's something I have never looked up or done any research into was Canadian conspiracies. Do they even have any? I will ask our research assistant
I'm
later.
sure they do, and I'm sure they're wonderful. I mean, we did learn that everything is a lugaroo.
That is true.
Maybe
that is true.
Maybe
Everything.
this was a flying lugaroo.
Oh shit!
It was near Canada.
Oh my god, guys! It was just a flying werewolf. Figured it out. We don't need a two-parter. We are done.
Happy to help.
Incredible. All right. Well, as usual, you can find us on the socials. Tumblr is going strong in this day and age of where
Yeah.
you can't trust any social media. Love
Tumblr's
my
had an
Tumblr.
incredible resurgence. I've been particularly active on Blue Sky. Me personally,
Yeah.
at Krista K. Coburn.
Yeah. Me personally, I am very bad at the Haunted Mitten one,
Yeah.
but you can always find us. It's the same names across the board.
It's true. Yeah, Facebook and Instagram, because they're both meta, are easier to sync. Blue Sky isn't entirely syncable yet. People are trying.
We're not
People
there
are writing widgets. They just haven't written any widgets that I want. So get on that.
Oh, they're trying.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised to see widgets at all, honestly. So yay.
Yeah, people are paying attention to it.
Yeah,
and that's
for sure.
Good. We have our Patreon where if you are seeing our faces, you are already there. Congratulations. If you would like to see our faces, you can donate $1 to $3 a month, and it'll happen. You can have our faces
and other
What
stuff.
else we got? We got our book.
We have our book.
Buy the book. I don't know the sales numbers because I keep forgetting to email the guy, but I will email the guy.
We've had such great feedback on it too, which makes me so happy.
Thank you all that have emailed about it.
Yes.
Thank you. Is that it? I think
that might be it. HauntedMitten.com. Check us out.
That's it.
We'll be doing events this year. Keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, we'll be at Chicago Steam.
Yes.
We will be at the Ipsy downtown branch reopening. I'm just going to say that we're going to be there.
Yes.
Because the date changes.
Yeah.
So,
but we were
depending on when
we were in there. I got to scope it out because I wasn't there for the investigation.
Oh,
so
gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks beautiful, and I'm really happy.
It looks so good. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, keep tuning in.
Keep tuning in, and happy haunting.
We're back here to talk to you about Lynn B Designs. Not only do they have the best nail polish to rival even those most expensive nail polishes you see on Instagram, but they have stickers, wax melts, shirts, everything cute and adorable and definitely ready for this fall season. So be sure to check out this vegan, cruelty-free brand. You will love them as much as we do. Check out Lynn B Designs monthly sales. They are fantastic. I am going to go look at some right now. Thanks.